try to answer any questions that you might have. But I'm a public policy guy. And these are the folks who do this day in and day out. And there's some tough questions that need to be answered. I was fortunate when I came down here in 1988. I enrolled my children in St. Andrews Episcopal School here, one of the top performing schools in the United States. I was fortunate I had that opportunity. Well, I have grandchildren living in Clarksdale right now who may not be able to come to Jackson. I want them to be able to have the same kind of education opportunity that my children had. I don't want them to move off because they see them move off every day. Our town is dying. Not just our town. Towns all over Mississippi. And the number one reason is they're leaving. Let me mention one other thing before I introduce the people. In 1980, I was president of our Chamber of Commerce, and I held every one of my meetings in one of our public schools. And the last meeting was held at Clarksdale High School. And I made the comment with teachers and students. I said, "You're telling us what a good job you're doing teaching our kids. But I have an employer here who said you tried to hire one of your graduates last week, and the young man could not read fractions. How can you tell us you're doing a good job teaching these children?" And the young man in the back of the room raised his hand. This was in 1980, pretty much a sea of white people, African-American vice president of the student body. You can imagine the courage it took for that young man to stand up. And he said something to me that I'll never forget. He said, "Mr. Johnson, did it ever dawn on you?" In other words, dummy, don't you realize? Did it ever dawn on you that the good students coming out of Clarksdale High School or having to go elsewhere to get a job, and the only ones you're seeing here are the ones who can't get a job elsewhere? He shifted that burden and put it on me as a businessman to say it's my responsibility to support public education and to make sure that it works. My wife and I were very much involved in creating the Foundation of Excellence in Education in Clarksdale and Rome County. We're the largest single private benefactors to that foundation for public education. I come to you with a public education alternative today. Charter schools are an alternative within the public education realm, and it's important that we realize that. So if you'll allow me.
We don't have time right now. We've got to move on, but we may come back to that.
Okay.
Mr. Johnson, I appreciate your passion, appreciate your speaking to us. I know right now we're going to listen to Senator Michael Watson. I don't know how many of you have been following the history of the last few years of what we've been doing in the legislature. The last couple of years, the Senate in our legislature, we've passed a couple of charter school bills. And the primary author and the one that I rely on in my committee is a good resource, is Senator Watson. And I'm going to give him a few minutes to that. I know Dr. Burnham wants to speak, and then we'll see how the time goes. Okay? Senator Watson.